Hello, in this video I'm going to teach you how to take the derivatives of sec, cosec and cot, and I'm going to timestamp each one below so you can just skip through to say the derivative of cosec if that's the one you want to see. So you only really need to know how to do the quotient rule to find these derivatives, and I'll link my videos on the quotient rule below. So let's start off with finding the derivative of sec of x, and to do that we're going to use the fact that sec of x is just 1 over cos of x, so we can rewrite this as y equals 1 over cosine of x. And now we can use the quotient rule, which says that u is the function, or function u is just the numerator, so that's 1, and the function v is my denominator, so that's just cos of x. Derivative of u is just 0, and the derivative of v is going to be negative sine of x. And now we can put this all into the quotient rule to find our derivative dy by dx. And that's equal to the function v multiplied by the derivative of u. So 0 multiplied by cosine of x is just 0. And then we subtract from that the function u multiplied by the derivative of v. So we're subtracting negative sine of x. And then that's all divided by the function v squared. So that's all over cos squared of x. So we then get the derivative is sine of x divided by cosine squared of x. And then we could write this as two fractions multiplied together. We could write it as sine of x over cosine of x multiplied by 1 over cosine x. And so sine over cos is just another way to write tan, and 1 over cos of x is just going to be sec of x. And so our derivative is going to be equal to, let's write it down here, so dy by dx is going to be equal to tan x multiplied by sec of x. And that is the derivative. Let's look at the second one where we need to find the derivative of cosec of x. And so we're going to do the same thing again to start with. We're going to write it as y equals 1 over sine of x. And so the function u is going to be 1, and my function v is going to be sine of x. So derivative of u is just going to be 0, and the derivative of v is going to be cosine of x. So again, using the quotient rule, we get that dy by dx is going to be equal to the function v multiplied by the derivative of u, which again is going to give me 0. And then we're going to do the function u, or subtract the function u multiplied by the derivative of v. So we get negative cosine of x. And that's all divided by the function v squared, so that's all over sine squared of x. And so we could write this as negative cosine x over sine of x multiplied by 1 over sine of x. And so tan is equal to sine over cos, and so if we do 1 over that, so we get cos over sine, we get 1 over tan, and so this part here is equal to cot of x. Okay, so let's write that here below it, so we get that dy by dx is going to be equal to negative cot of x multiplied by 1 over sine of x, which is equal to cosec x, so that's multiplied by cosec of x, and this here is our derivative. Now the final one, to find the derivative of cot of x, we're going to rewrite it again. So we get that y is equal to 1 over tan of x, okay? And like we said earlier, well, sine over cos is tan, so if I'm doing 1 over sine divided by cos, then we're going to get that that's equal to cos of x divided by sine of x. And so now we're going to use the quotient rule, so we get that u is equal to cosine x, and v is equal to sine of x. Derivative of u is just going to give me negative sine of x, and the derivative of v is going to give me cos of x. So putting this all into the quotient rule to find dy by dx, we take the function v multiplied by the derivative of u, so that's negative sine squared x, and then we subtract from that the function u multiplied by the derivative of v, which is subtract cosine of x, or cosine squared of x, sorry. And that's all divided by the function v squared, so that's all over sine squared of x. Now from the numerator we could factorize out that negative 1, so we would get negative 1 sine squared of x plus cos squared of x, and that's all divided by sine squared of x. Now this part of the numerator, this sine squared plus cos squared of x, that is a trig identity, and that equals 1, so this part goes to 1. And so our numerator is going to be negative 1 over sine squared of x, okay? And so we could say dy by dx is equal to negative 1 over sine squared of x. And 1 over sine is just cosec, so 1 over sine squared is going to be cosec squared, and we get the derivative is negative cosec squared of x. So hopefully this video was useful. If it was, subscribe, like and share, and go over to my channel for tons more maths tutorials. Thanks for watching.